Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Melina Landrio and I want to thank you all for sharing space with me today. I know it's been a little while guys. It's October the 25th today. I have a few channels that I've been meaning to come on and share with you, and just the energy has just been really thick and I've not been feeling it, so I've been doing other things, and I'm here today to commence in these channels. I've been guided by Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael today, so they could be very relevant in your energy as well. Something to do with healing, something to do with messages, something to do with protection. The number 332 could be relevant. I was looking into, I was just trying to rest, and star people started to kind of show up in my energy, and they came in a more unusual way than they usually do. So what they were showing me was something is magnified, and something is getting closer, like something is right in front of you, like right in front of your face. So there could be something that's magnified around you. Something maybe is going to be occurring very soon. Something maybe to do with the people that surround you could all be very relevant, or the experiences that surround you, or the energies that surround you. Anyways, it is evident that something is getting lighter and more clear. Like there's like this, perhaps there's this covering, because I did get that in a previous channel. Where is it? Something about being cloaked or covered. So there could be some sort of cloaking energy surrounding this. So we revoke and rebuke any cloaked energy. Archangel Michael, please cast this energy out of our energy field so we could see more clearly and more lightly what it is that you wish for us to seek and see. The name's Ronnie, the name's Stephanie, the name Les or Leslie, and the name Corey could all be very relevant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 4, 17, 88, all relevant numbers. Something's fraudulent in the energy as well. Something to do with your past, like people are kind of popping up from the past. Like maybe this is energy dissipating from your past that's getting lighter and more clear for you to see. I got the sense that somebody is like dressing up like somebody in our collective, and pretending to be you and utilizing your name to purchase things. This could be me as well. Maybe someone's pretending to be me doing the same. But yeah, somebody's going around and they're acting like you, and they're using your information to be able to purchase things, and they've been caught. Like somebody has seen them do this. Somebody is very aware that they're doing this, because I had this vision or this dream, and in the dream I was like questioned about, do I know somebody, when I used my card. And I think the name Les was very significant at that time, or Leslie. And I was like, no, I don't know this person or whatever. And then I was like, well, can you tell me some more about this person? And they said to me, do you want to know the real person, like what they really look like, or the description of the one that they go by? So that's relevant. They pretend to be somebody that they're not, but they actually go by this. In the dream also, what was relevant was this big massage van and a fireman getting a massage in it, like one of those ones where you sit. I don't know what like I'm saying it like I've seen these before. It's like a bus that's been renovated into like a bunch of spa chairs, massage chairs, and people can like pay money, sit and have a coffee and have a massage. Like, you know, when you go through the mall and you see those massage chairs, something like that is relevant, but this is a bus. And so that could be relevant. A business, a small business, like a yoga, or maybe an artist. There's something to do with this in regards to you using money fraudulently. Also, I think it's a chocolate wrapper. Perhaps it's like a brand of candy called, they were showing me, it's got like a little mountain in the background. It says La Roche, or maybe it's La Roque. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Something to do with that name as well. It could be also somebody French. Maybe that's a French name. Yeah, so somebody from the past, could be an ex, also is trying to get back into your energy for whatever reason. It's something nefarious, though. It's nothing that's honest. They're coming in, they're going to be charming, and they're going to try to manipulate you using some sort of tactics. They're trying to, it's like they're trying to manipulate something and erase something that happened as if it hasn't happened. Maybe get back in your good graces for some reason, like they're pretending that they did nothing wrong to you to get back into your good graces. Anyways, if this person comes in and tries to come back, you know that you send them packing for a reason, or they're not in your life for a reason, and now all of a sudden they're coming back years, decades later. Don't let this person in. This is very nefarious energy. There's something very bizarre about it. I also saw this man. He kind of reminded me of Bozo the Clown. I don't know if you guys remember who Bozo the Clown is. But he was like wearing this long brown gray jacket, and he had like very sad looking clown, really dirty looking too, like a 5 o'clock shadow, and just really shaggy hair. Big man, just like kind of lumping around in my window. Also, I don't know what a right itchy hand means, but there's something significant about that as well. So yeah, something is magnified, something's getting closer, something is right in front of your face. And it's like the smoke's clearing. Whatever's being cloaked or has been cloaked in the past is now lifting. And I kept getting reminded of this download that I kept receiving, and I haven't been on in a while. The song in the background kept like coming up to me. It's I think it's like a techno song. There's a swear word in it. It says, Alice, Alice, who the is Alice? Alice, Alice, who the is Alice? So that kept coming into my head. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, and I'm not sure the etiquette and how this is utilized. Like, I feel like there are locations where you could go and smoke this. It's called a hookah. Kind of like if you go to a bar and you have a beer, or you go to a pool hall and you play pool. I feel like there's like a kind of a scenario where maybe there's businesses that are like hookah clubs, and you could go in and you could smoke a hookah. Anyways, this is relevant. I think you call it a hookah. I'm not sure. I hope I'm saying it right. I'm not sure how it works, but I was being showed these 3 extensions from this machine or this device, and there's like this black rubber grip, it looked like, on the bottoms of it, and this grip that's black rubber had this like white powdery substance on it. And then I was showed this guy in my vision who was prepping them, and he was putting them in water. At least, pardon me, my perception was he was cleaning them in water. And I got the sense that if this person wasn't doing this, the next person who used it, this could burn them, or something bad could happen. Like the prep is to protect the next person from perhaps bad substances that could have been used prior. Something like that is relevant. Also, I saw the sign for Gabriel's Pizza, and I heard Gabriel is sounding the horn. Also, I got the date. I heard the date, January 4th. Could be relevant as well. So all of this information, 119.1 on my timer at the point of the end of this channel. So this is what I was receiving. So I'm not sure if that's going to be relevant with you guys, but that's what I got. And we're just going to pull some oracle cards here in regards to this message, just to get a little bit of a deeper understanding. I do hope you guys are doing well. I hope that everybody is, enjoying this fall weather that is upon us. It's been quite mild here in Ottawa, for those of you who aren't from where I'm from. But yeah, it's been a pretty beautiful fall here, and just very busy doing all sorts of stuff here. So let's just see what's coming up in this energy. What do we need to know, please? And thank you, Spirit. If I didn't say this already, and I already do think I did, but I'm just remembering this now, or I'm just thinking about this now, is a need to spiritually cleanse yourself and your environment. That's definitely very necessary. So I got the moon bow Number 5. And this is spiritual. This is spirit energy. I'm just going to pull a few of these cards here, and then I'll let you know what's coming up into regard. Any more, please? And we got Twilights. We have Moonbow and Twilight. And, oh, one more, please. Oh, 2 more. Okay. C'est bon. So we have the Shadow and the Chasm. Let's see here. What do we need to know about this energy here? Let me just clarify a little bit more. Clarify Moonbow, please. So something to do with your root chakra, being rooted. Clarify Twilight. Okay, so that's a lot that just blew up. Okay, that's a lot. I'm not sure if I'm going to take them all, but definitely rooted in air. Walnut and Aspen. Archangel Raphael. 639 hertz as well. Could all be relevant here. Let's just keep that together. That was too much. You want me to wait for these ones? Okay. Okay, so we have 2 air signs here. I'm going to wait. I'm going to put these away. We've got a fire sign, as well as spirit. Hold on here. Sorry guys, just a second here. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have the Moonbow. And this is all about something unknown. This is in the spirits. There's something unknown that's external and sacred. So this is something that's usually out of our control. Where is it? Now this came in the reverse when it flew into me. So the Moonbow often appears white because of low light reflected off the moon. They do not reveal the full spectrum of light that we find in daytime rainbows and are sometimes too dim to see with the naked eye. What colors are missing from your vision in dim light? The reverse moonbow reminds us that when we lack sufficient light in our lives, we cannot see all the colors of possibility. Okay, so there is a clear need to root and ground in your body at this time. So movement, walks in nature, take a exercise class. You could do some yoga, some meditation, something that's going to help root you in your being, whatever feels good to you, whatever you feel drawn to. Could be dancing, anything that's going to really root your body in the system is very prevalent for this particular card to show up. And that did show up with the root chakra card. And it's just helping you kind of like you might be going through some sort of lull at this time where you're feeling the need to find inspiration or some sort of I'm getting this like need to live, like maybe you're feeling down and out, you're having a difficult time pulling yourself out of, maybe you're feeling some sort of depression or like low vibrational energies, and it's kind of hard to pull yourself up and out. And maybe because everything feels so dark in your life right now that it's hard to see the bright spaces. So this is why it's necessary to root and ground this energy out, and doing things that get you embodied, get you to feel this experience more deeply and connect with this experience to be able to help siphon it out of your body and render it down into Mother Earth so that you can pull essence from her and be able to tap in a little bit more consciously, a little bit more high vibrationally. This is very relevant right now and need to ground. Now, we also have the Twilight, which is following it, and it is also in reverse. This card came out in the reverse as well. So as the day fades, things becomes obscured in the dimming light. We lose focus, lose our sense of surroundings, our sense of direction. It's a time of transition from the external to the internal. When the Twilight card is reversed, it is time to close your eyes, forget how things look on the surface, and let your other senses guide you. So like you might be hyper fixated or focusing on the circumstances that are external to you. Like maybe everything's breaking down. Maybe there's too much clutter. There's too much mess. I mean, like we all, I know I could definitely relate to that with having 4 kids. It's difficult keeping a tidy house at times, and it's necessary to keep on top of things, and you miss a day with somebody sick, and your laundry pile's at mile high. Like it's just a vicious, endless cycle at times. And it's easy to say like, oh, we'll just get it done, but then when you have so much on top of that you're trying to do, like your work and your family life and your relationships and then your me time, and if you're not able to put in the me time, you're not able to focus on who you are and what you're needing at this time, it's quite possible that we lose our grip and we start to hyperfixate on our external surroundings, and we start to project what we're experiencing out onto the world. And if our projection is not matching what we're seeing, then there can be this internal struggle that we can kind of get connected and hooked on. And we really don't want to be in that type of energy, because that's just obsessive and kind of not okay. It's a need to clear your energy. Again, a need to spiritually cleanse your space. Take it day by day, do one little thing at a time, and just look at the bright side of things. Like, I have a few areas in my home that I'm trying to get allocated to change. We want to paint, we want to adjust things. And, it's just not feasible sometimes with a teenager and, 2 girls that share a room that are kind of competing or fighting with each other. And it's like, it's a difficult circumstance sometimes when you have an environment that's not really conducive. We live in a small place and it's a tight squeeze, and we have to make do with what we have. And I found the best way to get around those types of struggles is to just take it one breath at a time and try not to hyper focus, which is hard. I do, we all do, right? but trying not to hyper focus on these things that are causing us this elevated experience of not doing so good. Because the reality is you're actually doing great, and it's just a matter of perspective. So with the moon bow in reverse and then twilight in reverse, it's showing a need to really focus on you, self-care, cleansing the space. You know, you could use people like to use Palo Santo, you could use sage. You know, I've been really liking frankincense and the Three Kings blends. They got a nice fragrant aroma when you go cleansing your space. And prayer, and you know, take it with God. You know, it's important to connect with God and speak to him about the experiences that you're having, and request the assistance necessary when doing so. And I mean, this is a good reminder for myself as well. We also have the shadow card, and this came out in the upright, and this is an air sign. Also with the twilight in reverse, this is rooted in action. So action is needed to get out of this type of circumstance, which means take action in cleansing your space. Take action in doing one thing at a time. Take action in what's fusing your passion. Like if you're finding yourself hyperfixated on something, look at yourself, turn it back on you. Look at yourself and ask, what is this really trying to teach me? What is this really trying to show me? What's really the problem here? Because it's usually not what's outside of you, because all your problems stem from you. You're the one that's present. You're the one that's experiencing it. Just because you have other people in an environment with you and you're experiencing something doesn't mean they're all experiencing the same thing as you. So it's important to always look back and reflect back on you. What's really the internal struggle that you're dealing with that you are projecting outward and hyperfixating on? Let's say there's a mess, the mess in your house that you can't seem to take care of. Okay. Then we have the shadow, which is the number 14, could be relevant. I hope this is helpful. This is definitely I love these cards. It's a different root. So with the air, this is all about your thoughts. This is being critical of yourself, and this is in the upright. So this is being very analytical about your thoughts, being critical in your understandings of your movement. This could be motivation. This is the trail of thoughts that you have. This also is rooted with your senses of intuition as well. So this is the shadow, and it is in the upright. And this is about mindfulness and thoughtfulness and how this affects you in your life. So our shadow is a distorted version of ourselves, the intrusive shape of us that is cast across our surroundings and across others. Our movements, actions, and body language follow us in an untangible form, shading anything it touches. When we are exposed in the light, our shadows fall. It follows our steps, mimics us, exposes our every move. The shadow card asks us to understand that what we do in our lives leaves a trace across other things. So the light of the truth is shining on you. And again, that's really prevalent today. And this card is kind of just showcasing that. The light of the truth is shining on you, and it's time to tread carefully and mindfully. So in your actions, in how you've expressed yourself, how it's affected the whole of a circumstance. It's very important to understand that. And then we also have, I hope I'm saying this right, the chasm. Let's see, that's another air sign. So again, in thought. 36. So with the mindfulness and thoughtfulness of the shadow card, and how our extension of ourselves expresses. Like, for instance, I'm expressing myself with this message today. I'm sharing with you the cards that I'm getting, I'm reading with you, and I'm intuiting these cards, and I'm sharing them with you. And this is my extension out to you. So this word that I'm expressing, these visuals that I'm giving you, are all tantalizing your senses in one shape or form, and you are going to be able to adapt that into your life. It's very important to understand the necessant, is that the right word? It's important for you to understand that this is a collective reading, and to really take the messages where it's meant to be. They might not be for you. So if none of this is resonating, if none of this is making any sense, then it's probably not for you. And you could keep watching if you want, or you can move on, but you should take your discernment in here. Now with this one, the chasm, this is being fearful of the unknown and emptiness. And this is like a time of loss. Okay. And this card is in the upright. The chasm reveals a deep place in us that we are unfamiliar with. Toss a stone in and you may never hear it hit the bottom. It's a void that things fall into and are lost seemingly forever. There is no way to know what lies beyond what we can see, yet we are compelled to peer over the edge to understand the depths within us and remember what was lost. Keep your curiosity alive, but mind the gap. So an understanding, you might be feeling these really big, deep, bellowing reflections right now, and I'm being guided to share, my family, we all went through decisions that we got to make in 2021 with injections. And there was quite a divide that occurred in history. And it was very clear of this division. And I'm not sure how it was where you were, but I'm guessing it was quite the same. Here, there was a time where we were locked down and we weren't allowed to go out to restaurants or anything. And then there was this talk of opening it up, but then you had to be vaccinated to be able to go out to eat in these restaurants. And we chose not to do the injection, and we were locked out of society for a period of time. And I mean, it didn't really affect us too bad because we don't really go out anyways all that much. Like, we don't really do all that much. We had really young kids at the time when all of this was going on. I was pregnant with my fourth child during the first lockdown. I gave birth to him. Anyways, I don't really want to get in a debate about that time frame, but what is relevant to this conversation that I'm bringing up is in that time frame, I expressed concern for a family member who did decide to get the injection. Now, I was raised in a family that all were vaccinated, and I have my full vaccinations. And, that was just what I was taught to do in my family. Growing up with a lot of people who work in hospitals, you get taught this. They're trained to understand this. And then when these injections came out, and they came out so quick and so fast, and they weren't tested, and there was so much pressure. And what I was witnessing around me was like, get vaccinated for a free donut. And I mean, it was just ridiculous stuff that I was witnessing. And I was witnessing a lot of people just at their ends wanting to have connection, wanting to get out and talk with people, and they ended up all taking it to do so. And some of us didn't take it. And I ended up losing a lot because of my choice. And it really illuminated a lot about the people that were in my life at that time. People who've been in my life my entire life. And I remember meeting with my children at the park and their cousins. And this is like the day before we were about to be locked out of society for a period of time, unless we had this card. And I remember I was with my younger brother, and his daughter had requested my daughter go to the movies with them. And this is right before, and I said, well, I don't know how that's going to work, because we decided to wait to see how these vaccines, what happens with these vaccines, because I didn't want to risk hurting my kids. And I have the right to choose such, make such choices and speak with my children about these understandings of what these things were. And we have the right to make that choice. And my brother, in that moment when my niece was asking to hang out with my daughter, I just looked at my daughter and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, if that's going to be possible. And my niece looked really confused. She didn't really understand why I was saying that. And my brother decided to take it upon himself and tell my niece in front of my children and my partner and myself that I'm very uneducated, that I decided not to take this shot, and that if I were to get COVID, I would die. And I looked at him and I said, well, the coin is also flipped your way. People who get the shot also die. And he got really angry and stormed off. And he went and decided to paint a pretty picture about me to my family, who he lived with at the time. And slowly but surely, we got dismissed from my entire family, based in the gossip that he decided to share about me and that day and my decisions. Now, for those of you, many of you who don't know me, the picture that they painted in regards to these injections was that it was dire for certain people to receive them because of the circumstances of COVID. Well, I was one of these high-risk people, because in my lifetime, I should be dead the amount of times I've had pneumonia, the amount of times I've had bronchitis, the fact that I have asthma, and that I was a smoker for over 20 years, surrounded by smokers, heavy smokers. And I mean, every time I got sick, it would affect my lungs. And I was one of these people that if I were to get COVID, I would have been rocked. But the interesting thing is that I don't think we even experienced receiving that illness. We got sick with the usual flu-type symptoms at one point, and we were a bit concerned that maybe it was COVID, and you just assume. Anywho, I don't even know if this video is going to be able to upload now because I'm talking about all this stuff. But the reason why I'm saying that is because with this card, Chasm, and it's like fear of the unknown, emptiness, and a time of loss. In that moment that I just shared with you, I lost my entire family. My entire family. My mother, my brothers, my nieces, my nephews, my cousins, my aunts. They don't talk to me anymore. Not that we were ever really close anyways, but not one person has reached out. Not one person has spoken to me. And it's just kind of fascinating because when the narrative of what I just shared with you occurred. And then it was all of a sudden revealed that a lot of the things that I was concerned about were actually happening to people who got this injection. It was just mind blowing to me that there was no, I was wrong, or I shouldn't have treated her so harshly. It was just this immediate, let's just wash our hands of her. She's not a part of us because she chose not to do what we want her to do. And while, at one point, maybe I was more codependent and needed to be told and, held by the hand for certain dynamics in my life. But I've grown and evolved. I'm not that way anymore. And I really don't need to hold anybody's hand to do anything in life. So, you can make your decisions and you can lie in your bed afterwards, right? I have no regrets on the decisions that I've made. I have no regrets whatsoever. The fascinating thing about that time frame was right before those shots were dished out. I was raised in a family that had that worked in hospitals, and you do know there are people out there who are vulnerable. And I remember washing my hands. I remember being mindful of others. I remember just trying to be, we all went out and we tried to do the right thing. And I remember these same people who in my family who dismissed me were all not doing the right thing. They were all getting together. They were all like making fun of the people wearing masks. They were all, and if we really want to look back on all of it, it was all just a plot to divide us. And unfortunately for many of us, like my story, we have had division. And this division, if you can imagine for myself, it feels very hollow. It's at the root of my existence. This is my family. These are people who claim to love me. These are people who I was raised with and raised me, who decided that they don't need me in their life anymore. They don't need to see my kids anymore. They don't need nothing. And not one person has reached out to me. Not one person has called my phone number or showed up at my door. And this is now what, 5 years later? 4 years later? And, there's a lot of other toxic things that I could place in regards to the sharing with you, in regards to my dynamic. But what this card feels like to me, it's like something of that dynamic, something of that magnitude is being felt in the collective. And it's like, it was very daunting for me to witness my own mother not want to talk to me. And I've reached out to her several times, and not my side of the story was never heard or asked about. It was just this immediate, we're just going to listen to what my little brother said about me, and that's it. We're not going to hear all sides of the story. We're going to make our decision because we don't like that she said something, because I questioned it when one of my family members, who was pretty healthy prior to receiving that shot, immediately had a stroke. So, and it's funny because I've talked about this, and I've talked about saying, like, do you think maybe it's what you did that created this circumstance for you? And it's like people are like, it's MK Ultra is really heavy in this understanding, because I remember when those shots were expressed, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, I guess we're gonna have to go get the shot now. And then I shook my head and I thought, why am I saying that? And that's MK Ultra. That's like mind control. That's like you are following suit. You are following directions. You are being told what to do, how to think, how to act. And it's very evident in the energy here in regards to, I guess, what I'm sharing with you. And this chasm energy, which is, a lot of time lost and a lot of emptiness experienced because of something that really beckons within the depths of your soul. And maybe some people are really struggling with that. I know, like, for me at the beginning when all this happened, it took a long time for me to go through and understand what really just happened. And while I was deciphering it and I was writing it down and I was sitting in my emotions and I was allowing myself to feel what I had to feel. And as I went through all of it, it became very clear that I was never loved the way that I thought I was loved. I was never appreciated, respected. There was some sort of disconnect in my family that I just was never privy to see. And maybe perhaps the black sheep, the joke of the family in as I look back on all of this now, I just can't fathom doing that to my own children personally. Like, I remember having talks with them after all this occurred, and I said, if you guys ever are going to fight, we're going to have a talk about it, because we're not going to allow little things to disrupt our homeostasis in regards to who we are innately at our being, our core. You know, we're all allowed to have our own thoughts, our own expressions, our own understandings, but we have to do this harmoniously with others. Doesn't mean you have to be in alignment with others. You don't have to be in the same line as somebody that you don't agree with what they're standing for. But you do have to show some form of respect. And the respect is self-respect for yourself. So yeah, this is all relevant today. And I went on a tangent. I don't know if any of that was helpful, but this is some of the cards that I just pulled. I'm going to choose a tarot deck, and I'm just going to pull a few cards on top of this energy here just to see if there's anything more that we need to know that's going on, and then we'll close out the reading. Okay, so just give me a minute so I can pause this.